Hello, my name is Dan. Today we're going to talk about cars and things. Stop it, get some help. You need Jesus. Alright, for real though, we're going to be talking about what I'm sitting on right now. Not the car itself, but the engine. So I'm going to go pop the hood. So, this is the N55, my personal favorite engine to come out of BMW. It's inline 6 with the turbo on it. So that's pretty nifty, pretty cool if you ask me. The predecessors to this engine was the N54, known for, well, every issue under the book. Don't buy an N54. And then after that came the B58, which is now used in the Supra. So that's pretty cool. So we're going to be talking about what to look for while buying a used BMW with this engine in it. So the first thing you're going to be looking for when buying one of these is the good old oil filter housing gasket. Signs of that, which you'll actually see, is you'll have oil in these spots right in here. Sometimes it's just the gasket on the top, but oftentimes it's right in here. There's a gasket that seals where the coolant goes to cool the oil. So that's number one. If you get it fixed by BMW, that costs $1,000. So don't do that. Fix it yourself. It costs $82.59. When your oil filter housing gasket is going, the common signs you'll see is you'll see oil deposits in the spots that I said. You'll chew through some oil every like 2,000 miles. You might end up adding a quart. But this is a BMW, so oil leaks from other places too that we're going to talk about. It's a relatively simple fix. There's videos everywhere on how to do it. I would make a video on it and try to make lots of views, but I already did it, so that's kind of out the question. Sorry. I'll link videos below. Yeah, it's not going to destroy your car, but it's not the best thing because you're leaking oil, okay? What happens though is when the oil leaks, it gets on your belt. Then your belt can start slipping, you start having some auxiliary power issues. And worst case scenario, your crankshaft will actually suck in your belt, which is not good because then you gotta get a new engine and that's expensive. All right, so the next thing you should be looking for on these engines for a potential issue is the valve cover gasket. My car is modified, so it's a pain to get to. I'm actually gonna take it apart and show you guys because I'm just that guy. The valve cover gasket is like any other oil gasket. You'll have oil leaking around where it is, and yeah, same thing, oil dripping everywhere. Not a good time. Again, BMW charges about $1,000 to fix this. You can do it yourself for about $60. So go ahead and do it. It's a little bit of pain. Like I said, there's tutorials everywhere, but with all these things, don't just go replacing them. I mean, they're gonna fail eventually. It's a BMW, that's what they're known for. But wait till you see the symptoms. And on this one, you'll see oil dripping around your block. Maybe some performance issues. Maybe you'll end up seeing some oil sitting on like your coil pack area. That's not a good thing. So this one is a big no bueno. And this honestly can happen on any car. It just depends on if it was beat up, you know, didn't go through proper heat cycles, all that. But this one's kind of a pain to test, like if you're at a dealership trying to buy a car. The next thing is oil in your spark plugs. What that means is basically your engine's toast, dude. Like your rings around your piston, oil's getting up in there. That's no bueno. That's no good. Trash the car, you don't need it. Ways you can find this though, if you're at like a dealership, because they're not gonna let you pull apart stuff and take out spark plugs. One thing you can look for is smoke out the exhaust. That's a pretty good sign of something's going wrong. That could be some other things, but it's a good sign. And maybe this is something you look for on a car that you've already purchased, but if you're test driving it and you see smoke out the rear or you feel down on power or something, don't buy the car. Trust me, it's not worth it. All right, so the next one is the motor mounts. The motor mounts are the thing that mounts your motor. Signs that your motor mounts could be going bad or are broken, like they were on my car, is if you can get someone to, you know, step on the brake and give it a little gas, like while it's in drive, you'll see the whole motor tilt more than normal. I mean, it's gonna move a little bit, it's a motor, but that's an issue. Also, you'll feel slop if you're in a turn. You'll feel like kind of like it feels like you have jugs of milk in the back and they're sliding around, but instead of milk's in the back, it's a freaking engine in the front that's not mounted up. So that's a big issue. Happened to be a case on my car. Really, on stock cars, you're not going to notice an issue unless it was tuned and then detuned, because you're making a lot more torque, or if it was in an accident like this car was before I purchased it. So just keep an eye out for that. This next one is more of a reliability thing versus a what to look for when buying a used one of these cars, but this is the biggest issue on every BMW ever except for the new B58s. Your charge pipe. For whatever reason, BMW puts plastic charge pipes in there. Your charge pipe is where your boosted air comes off your turbo through your intercooler and then goes into your intake manifold. The issue with them being plastic is if you're making more power than you do stock, it's going to be straining that a lot more. And if this thing gets up to temperature and, you know, is getting heat soaked and all that, you're going to blow it. Trust me, I blew mine. Not a good time. So if you're trying to be safe, just go ahead and replace that. Part's like 200 bucks. It's kind of a pain to do, but there's videos everywhere. If not, you can probably get a shop to do it for like 500. It's not bad. The oil pan gasket. Notice that all these are gasket wise. Older cars, they love to blow gaskets just because they use a different material. The newer ones, not so much, but you should still look out for it. Pretty much when you hit around 75,000 miles, one of these, if not all of these, is gonna fail. So anyway, this last one on the engine is the oil pan gasket. I'm not gonna show you because I'm lazy and I don't feel like lifting my car up and throwing the camera underneath the car. Basically, symptoms of that is if you have your belly pan off, heck, even if you have it on, you'll see oil on the ground. That's no bueno. Same thing, you know, you're gonna be losing oil, you're gonna have to top it off every now and then. And if the oil is fresh, it could be a fire hazard, so be careful with that one. And you know, it's just kind of not the best to have oil blown over the whole bottom of your car, so be careful for that. Mine actually has that issue right now. I just didn't feel like fixing it, but I will. Final thing, this isn't engine related, but there's a bonus. If you have a car, not all N55 cars have the 8-speed transmission in them, but if you do, one thing you should watch out for is the mounting bracket that actually holds the transmission up in there. That can go, especially if your engine mounts have gone, because all the weight of your engine and your transmission is sitting on that one bracket, and that's no bueno. So ways to see that, again, some slop, maybe some weird shifting. And if you get underneath the car, you'll see it because the mount's right there and it'll be broken. Once again, this was broken on my car, got it fixed, whoop-de-doo, now we're good. But I don't really know of it happening on the 6-speed models. Personally, I'm not a fan of that transmission, it's a little clunky. This 6-speed auto. The 6-speed manual, there's no issues. Like, get a manual, you're good. I'm not sure about the newer ones, I just know that with this one, especially if you have issues with your engine mounts, you're gonna have issues with your trans mounts. So I'll take a look at it, get it fixed. So, thank you for watching. If you have any other questions, these are the basics for like issues with this engine. But if you have any other questions, feel free to shoot me a message on Instagram or leave a comment below. I'll try to answer them. These engines are great. They're when BMW finally started making reliable turbo engines. The B58 is better on paper and everything, but I personally couldn't afford that, and I like the sound of this. So it's an amazing engine, but if you're gonna keep a BMW, any BMW lasting for a while, you're gonna want to watch out for these things. So thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Make sure to leave a comment of any questions. Like I said, shoot me a DM on Instagram and try to get back to you guys. And hopefully I help you buy one of these cars with one of these engines.